Hello there guys. Today I've got a quick review for you of a brand new kit which was sent to me by Verifier, and that is the World War I destroyer the USS Smith DD-17. Now when Verifier told me they were sending a 1:350 scale ship to me, and then this box turned up, I thought there must have been a mistake, because this box seems really small. If I put my hands into the frame there, you can see just how small it is. However, the real ship was only just under 90 meters long, or 293 feet long, so that explains the small box. And although this was sent to me by Verifier, you can see in the top left there we've got a separate logo. This was described to me as Verifier's OEM brand, and it is DaLiGeJian Model, a company that I've never heard of before, but perhaps we'll see some new things from them in the future. As I say, the USS Smith was a World War I era destroyer in the US Navy, and we're lucky to have quite a few images of it. It entered service in late 1909, and after being put in reserve for a couple of years, it was reactivated for the First World War, during which time the ship spent much of its time escorting convoys around the coast of France. Although the USS Smith never sank any submarines, it was involved in the rescue of passengers from several torpedoed ships. After the war, she was towed back to Philadelphia and used as a bombing target until scrapping in 1921. Given this size, I did think that I'd be able to build this kit quite quickly, but I think those myths were somewhat dispelled when I opened the box. We've got a little bit of documentation. A plastic container of metal parts, some 3D printed parts, a plastic sprue with the hull sides and the deck, only one more plastic sprue, and then some photo etch protected with a nice sturdy cardboard back. So as you can see, probably more metal parts, photo etch parts and 3D printed parts than actual plastic parts. So the first piece of paper in the box is this advertisement for future models that are being released. These are in various scales, including a 1:200 scale version of this ship, and as you can see from many of these images, there is a lot of photo etch, a lot of metal involved in many of these models. We've got a 1:350 scale HMS Vanguard down there, and then on the other side a couple of German ships, again some in 1:200 scale, some in 1:350, and a couple of Japanese ships as well, including down there in the bottom right the USS Arizona in 1:200 scale. Moving on to the small instruction book, which fits nicely inside the box without folding. We start with these reference diagrams to show us the various colours. We don't get a lot of paint callouts in the instructions, but these CAD diagrams do look fantastic. I'm not sure what my shipbuilding skills are like, but I'd be happy if I got anywhere near the quality of this level of detail. Then we've got the parts map here, the 2 plastic sprues on the left, 3 pieces of photo etch fret, and then lots of turned metal pieces. And those are the ones in that separate clear plastic tray. Another image over here as reference. And then finally on to the instructions. So as you can see, we start with the deck guns. And what do we have there? We've got 2 metal pieces, 1 photo etch piece and 1 plastic piece, or possibly a 3D printed piece, per gun. And by the look of that there, of W1 we're making 5, and of W3 we're also making 5. Then we move on to the bridge and the wheelhouse. And you can see the level of detail here. Even though the bridge is enclosed, we do have some photo etch for the wheel itself, and there's a sort of a frame in there as well that's photo etched, and a ladder to the lower level. I get the feeling building this is going to be quite a lot of sub-assemblies involved. Judging by those staples there, we're also halfway through the instruction book. And so this is where those really long turned pieces of metal go, because we've got the masts here. And it's almost sort of implicitly mentioned here that we should be joining the two plastic hull sides together at this point. And of course, as you might expect, the majority of the detail goes onto the deck. So we've got all kinds of metal and resin parts here. Those deck guns that we've constructed go on. We've got anchors, got railings, so many pieces here. And then towards the stern, again more deck guns, metal doors, photo-etched doors, ladders and so on. This really does look super detailed in the CAD images, doesn't it? Hopefully it won't end up as a mess of super glue with my fingerprints all over it. And of course we're not finished yet. As we move further back, we've got some lifeboats and lots of other details which I would describe to you if my ship vocabulary was better. Looking at the artwork, I know the Smith has 4 funnels. We seem to have a smaller one there as well. I'm not quite sure where that goes, but I'm sure all will be explained soon. And again, each of those funnels seems to have its own photo etched details. So there are funnels A, B, C, D. I'm not quite sure where the other one goes. Oh well, I'm sure I'll find a space for it. Now there isn't a separate rigging guide for this, but you can sort of make out the rigging from the images here. That would definitely be a challenge, but one that I do quite fancy actually. And then that's the end of the instructions. Right, let's have a look at the kit pieces themselves. This is the first plastic sprue, which looks really sharply moulded, and I suspect there that on that deck piece, those various recesses, circular and rectangular, are guides for the various pieces which will be added to it, which will really help hopefully with the placement. Then moving on to the 3D printed parts, we have those in this protective sort of carrier, which does make it quite hard to get the camera to focus. To be honest, the parts are so small here and the supports are so many that I'm not entirely sure what some of these parts are. And I think getting these off those supports, as with a lot of 3D printed parts, is going to be a very painstaking process to avoid damaging the parts themselves. That said, they all look intact, and I don't believe there's any there that are missing or damaged. This is our second 3D printed parts crate, and these are for some of the structures on the deck. In fact, that at the back there looks like it might be the bridge structure. And then finally we have the third crate of 3D printed parts. And to be honest with you, I'm not 100% sure what these pieces are. They're too small to be the smokestacks. Anyway, I guess we'll find out during the build. Inside that clear plastic container I showed you, we have a lot of clear bags, each with their own metal parts in them. So many of these will represent the barrels for the deck guns, perhaps some of the supports for the railings, and similar. There are so many pieces in here. These all look really clean, and because of course they're not injection moulded, we won't have any seam lines or anything like that to clean up. It is quite an overwhelming number of metal parts though. Finally, if we look inside the bag with the photo etch, we see a couple of things. First of all, I think these are masks for the deck. We then have this small fret here photo etch, which looks like some kind of gantry. And then a much bigger photo etch fret with many of those railings, those ladders and similar small details on. So certainly a good challenge there. A couple of things I did notice that were missing from the kit. One is a painting guide. To be honest, I suspect there's very little that we can say in terms of the exact colours that we used on the ship, but certainly some of the reference images and the box art do seem to suggest maybe a rudimentary camouflage scheme. So it might have been nice to have a guide for that. The other thing I noticed is that some of the reference photos don't seem to correspond very well with some of the images of the model. For example, this image here of the deck guns doesn't show any railings around them at the edge of the deck, whereas the model clearly has railings all the way around. Now, of course, that can be explained in a number of ways. It could be the model is wrong. It could be that the reference image isn't really from the USS Smith. Or it could simply be, and I think probably most likely, that the layout of the deck and the various fittings varied during the lifetime of the ship. The other thing I noticed is we do get a decal sheet, but it's very small and only contains flag decals. We don't get the large 17 that you can see on some of these reference photos on the bow of the ship. So if you wanted to include that, you'd have to maybe source those elsewhere, or perhaps do some masking. The letters are quite chunky, quite squared, so it should be relatively easy to mask those off. And of course, if you have got something like, say, a cricket machine, like I showed you in one of my recent videos, that would be perfect for creating a mask for that. So I think this could be quite an interesting kit. It's obviously nowhere near as big and as complicated as something like the Musashi, which I reviewed a while ago. It obviously has the challenges of the mixed media, the metal, the photo etched and the 3D printed parts. But the relatively small size of the kit means that perhaps it is a bit more within the capabilities of many modelers. It's certainly not going to be a lifetime's work to build this, unlike some kits. Having said that, I did recently get back to making my Prince of Wales again, and although I did put the metal railings around the deck, I did give up on many of the photo etch parts elsewhere on the ship, because I just felt like it was becoming too much for frustration. So I feel like I need to get the Prince of Wales out of the way first, perhaps another ship with a little bit of photo etch, but not this much, and then perhaps I can have a crack at this one. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this quick look into the box of the USS Smith. Next week I will have a build video for you, and as you might have gathered from my mention of the Prince of Wales, I am trying to get some of those old builds that I've got on the shelf moving again, and I'm trying not to build anything new, or not too much new, until I get those old ones going and done. I would like to thank all of you for watching, and special thanks of course to my YouTube members and Patreon members. Thank you very much to all of you, it is greatly appreciated. And until next time, thank you for watching and have fun modelling.